Isn't anybody walking on this earth without haters? The moment you decide to do something different, to break out of the mold, to reach higher, somebody has something to say. They'll look at you like you crazy, like you don't have the right to want more. And the truth is, they don't even know why they doubt you. They just do. It isn't because they think you can't do it. It's because they were scared. They never tried. See, people project their fears onto you. They see your ambition, your dreams, and it reminds them of everything they were too afraid to chase. Instead of clapping for you, they try to bring you down. Have you ever noticed how people only doubt things they have never done? They never built a business, but they got business advice. They never chased a dream, but they know why yours won't work. That's the world we live in. But their doubt has nothing to do with your destiny. You got to get comfortable with being underestimated. You got to let them think you don't have what it takes. Because when they don't see you coming, that's when you hit the hardest. You let them run their mouth while you run your race. The best part, they watching. They might not say it, but they watching every move you make, waiting to see if you give up, waiting to say, I told you so. But what they don't know is every time they doubt you, they're just adding fuel to your fire. You don't got to argue. You don't got to prove anything with words. Just show up every single day and handle your business. Let them think you don't have it. Then one day, let them watch you live the life they said you'd never have. Too many people are waiting on approval before they go chase what's already there. They waiting for their friends to believe in them. They waiting for their family to support them. They waiting on somebody to say, yeah, that's a good idea. But let me tell you something, that wait is wasting your time. You don't need a cheerleading squad to go after your dream. You don't need a standing ovation before you take your first step. The only validation you need is waking up in the morning knowing you were given another shot to make it happen. Half the people you're looking for approval from don't even have their own lives together. They're struggling just like you. They're fighting their own battles. They are scared to take risks. So why are you letting them determine how big you can dream? Think about every person who ever did something great. They were told they were crazy. They were told it wouldn't work. They were laughed at, doubted, and rejected. But you know what they did? They kept going. They believed in themselves when nobody else did. You got to learn how to clap for yourself. You got to learn how to move without applause. Because the truth is, in the beginning, nobody cares. But once you make it, everybody has a story about how they always knew you would. Stop waiting for a green light from people who aren't even moving. If they aren't willing to bet on themselves, they sure aren't going to bet on you, bet on yourself. Everybody's scared of failure like it's some kind of life sentence. Like once you mess up, it's over. But that isn't how life works. You don't lose because you failed. You lost because you stopped after you failed. If you're still moving, if you're still trying, then you haven't lost anything. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a step toward it. Every successful person you admire has failed. Probably more times than they can count. You just don't hear about those failures because people only like to celebrate the victory. But behind every win, there were nights of doubt, rejection, and mistakes. The real problem isn't failing. The real problem is letting failure define you. Some people take one loss and wear it like a name tag for the rest of their lives. They say, I failed, so that must mean I ain't good enough. No, it doesn't. It just means you're learning. It means you are in the process. You don't get to greatness without going through something. Have you ever seen a baby learning to walk? They fall over and over again. They bump their head, they wobble, they stumble. But you don't see a baby fall once and say, whew, well, I guess walking isn't for me. No, they keep trying until one day they are on their feet running. That's how life works. You keep going until you get it right. People let failure shame them. They let one mistake make them feel like they don't have what it takes. But the only people who never fail are the ones who never try. Sitting on the sidelines, playing it safe, never taking a risk, that's not living, that's just existing. If you're scared to fail, you've already failed. The most powerful thing you can do after failure is to stand back up, because every time you get up, you send a message to yourself, to the world, to the people who doubted you, that you aren't done yet. You're still in the fight. You still got something in you that's worth fighting for. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get it right the first time. You just have to keep showing up. Because the moment you refuse to quit is the moment failure loses its power over you. Nobody else is going to see your dream the way you see it. Nobody else is going to feel it burning inside of them like you do. That's because it wasn't given to them, it was given to you. It's your vision, your purpose, and your responsibility. So stop expecting people to understand something that was never meant for them. Some folks just aren't going to get it, and that's okay. It's not their job to believe in your dream. It's yours. The problem is too many people give up on their dreams because somebody else doesn't believe in them. They go to a friend, a family member, a coworker and say, hey, I want to do this. And if that person doesn't respond with excitement, they start second guessing themselves. They start thinking, maybe they're right. Maybe this is a dumb idea. Maybe I'm not cut out for it. But let me ask you something. Why would you put the fate of your dream in the hands of someone who doesn't even share your vision? You got to understand, people will judge your dream based on their limits. If they've never done it, if they've never seen it happen, if they can't imagine it for themselves, they'll assume it's impossible for you too. But that ain't got nothing to do with what's possible for you. Just because they can't see it doesn't mean you can't achieve it. Just because they don't believe it doesn't mean it won't happen. People will try to talk you out of your dream, not because they don't want you to succeed, but because they're scared of what it means if you do. If you make it, then it proves they could have gone harder. It proves they could have pushed themselves. It proves that the excuses they've been making for years aren't anything but fear dressed up as logic. And some folks would rather stay comfortable in doubt than uncomfortable in faith. Some of the biggest dream killers are the people closest to you, not because they hate you, but because they don't want you to get hurt. They think they're protecting you by telling you to be realistic. They say, you sure you want to do that? What if it doesn't work out? But you can't live your life based on what if. If you're always waiting for a guarantee, you'll never get started. The truth is, the only person who needs to believe in your dream is you. The only person who needs to see the vision is you. Because once you start walking in it, once you start working for it, once you start putting in the time and effort, the right people will start to notice. The right doors will open. The right opportunities will come. But it starts with you deciding that no matter what anybody says, no matter who doubts you, no matter who doesn't see it, you're going to make it happen anyway. You don't need a crowd. You don't need applause. You don't need everybody to be on board. You just need to trust what's inside of you, because when it's all said and done, the only regret worse than failing is never trying at all. Everybody wants to shine, but nobody wants to grind in the dark. Everybody wants success, money, recognition, the lifestyle. But do you know what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't? It's the work they put in when nobody's around. The late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices that nobody sees, the moments when they could be out chilling, but instead they're locked in, focused, working on their craft. It's easy to work hard when people are clapping for you. It's easy to put in effort when there's a crowd watching, when there's a deadline coming up, when there's somebody to impress. But what about when it's just you? What about when there's no applause, no recognition, no pat on the back? That's when it counts. That's when you find out who you are. Because the work you do in private is what people will praise you for in public. The biggest mistake people make is waiting for motivation to get started. They say, I'll work hard when I feel inspired, but let me tell you something. If you only work when you feel like it, you'll never be great. Discipline is what separates the ones who want it from the ones who get it. You don't wait for motivation, you create it. You get up and put in the work even on the days when you don't feel like it, because those are the days that make the difference. Athletes don't train only when the stadium is full. They put in the work behind closed doors before the sun comes up, after everyone else has gone home. Musicians don't become legends by only practicing when there's an audience. They spend hours alone mastering their craft, perfecting every note, every lyric, every movement. Business owners don't build empires by only working when it's convenient. They grind when nobody's paying attention, making decisions, taking risks, staying up late, waking up early, doing whatever it takes. The problem is people want fast results. They want to put in the work today and see success tomorrow. But that's not how it works. Success is the result of consistent effort. repeated over and over again when nobody else is looking. It's waking up every day and doing the little things that add up over time. It's choosing progress over comfort. It's pushing yourself to go further even when there's no immediate reward. Have you ever seen an iceberg? When you look at it from above the water, you only see a small part of it, but underneath, there's this massive structure that took years to form. That's how success works. People only see the result, the championship, the business, the fame, the lifestyle. What they don't see is the years of grinding beneath the surface, the struggles, the failures, the lonely nights, the moments of doubt, the times when it would have been easier to quit. That's the part that matters. Most people give up because they don't see results fast enough. They say, I've been working for months and nothing's happening. But success doesn't work on your timeline. It comes when it's earned. And the only way to earn it is to stay committed, stay focused, and keep putting in the work, even when nobody's watching. Have you ever noticed how people love to laugh at what they don't understand? The moment you step outside the box, the moment you dream bigger than they expected, here come the jokes. Oh, you think you can do that? Man, you crazy. That never worked. They laugh, they mock, they roll their eyes. But let me tell you something. Good, let them laugh. The same people who laugh now are going to be the same ones asking, how'd you do it later? People laughed at every great idea before it became a reality. They laughed at the first person who said we could fly in airplanes. They laughed at the first person who believed we could put a man on the moon. They laughed at every entrepreneur, every artist, every athlete, every visionary who dared to believe in something bigger than what everybody else could see. And then when those same dreamers made it happen, the laughter stopped. See, when people laugh at you, it isn't really about you. It's about them. It's about their small minds, their limited thinking, and their fear of stepping outside of their comfort zone. When you chase something big, it makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to question why they never tried. It reminds them of every excuse they made, every opportunity they ignored, every time they settled for less. And instead of dealing with that, it's easier for them to just laugh at you. Let me tell you why being laughed at is a good thing. It means you're doing something different. It means you're stepping into territory most people are too scared to enter. It means you're thinking at a level most people don't even consider. And that's exactly why you can't stop. If everybody agrees with you, if nobody questions you, if nobody thinks you're crazy, then you aren't dreaming big enough. Look at the greats. Look at the people who changed history. Do you think they were respected at first? No. They were ridiculed. They were doubted. They were criticized. People called them crazy, unrealistic, and foolish. But what did they do? They kept going. They let the laughter fuel them instead of breaking them. They used doubt as motivation. They worked twice as hard, pushed twice as far, just to prove every last one of them wrong. Have you ever noticed how people go quiet when you start succeeding? The same ones who were laughing suddenly don't have anything to say. Suddenly, they're watching from the sidelines, pretend like they always believed in you. That's how it works. They laugh when you start, they go silent when you grind, and they clap when it's over, like they didn't spend all that time doubting you. So let them laugh, let them joke, let them doubt, because one day they're going to see what you saw all along. And when that day comes, the only thing louder than their laughter will be the sound of your success. Look around at the people you spend the most time with. Look at their mindset, their habits, their goals, if they even have any. Because here's the truth. Your circle is either pushing you forward or pulling you back. There's no in between. If you're surrounded by people who don't believe in growth, who don't talk about goals, who aren't chasing anything in life, guess what? You'll find yourself in that same position, stuck, uninspired, and going nowhere. Have you ever noticed how successful people hang around other successful people? That isn't a coincidence. That's a choice. Because they understand something most people don't. Environment matters. You can have all the talent in the world, all the drive, all the dreams, but if you're surrounded by negativity, doubt, and laziness, it's only a matter of time before it starts rubbing off on you. Energy is contagious, and if you're constantly around people with a losing mentality, you'll start thinking it's normal. Some of y'all are trying to grow in an environment that's suffocating you. You have big dreams, but everybody around you is talking small. You've got ambition, but your friends are content staying exactly where they are. You try to talk about goals and they change the subject. You mention investing in yourself and they laugh at you. That isn't friendship. That's a weight holding you down. And if you don't do something about it, that weight will keep you from ever taking off. You got to start surrounding yourself with people who think bigger, people who push you, challenge you, and inspire you to do more. You need people who make you uncomfortable in a good way. People who have already done what you're trying to do, who make you realize you got to step your game up. If you're the smartest, most ambitious person in your circle, then you're in the wrong circle. You should be around people who stretch your thinking, not limit it. And it isn't easy cutting people off. Some of these folks you've known for years. Maybe they grew up with you, or maybe y'all have been through a lot together. But let me ask you something. Do you want to stay loyal to comfort, or do you want to stay loyal to your future? Because sometimes staying connected to the wrong people is the very thing keeping you from leveling up. It doesn't mean you got to hate them. It doesn't mean you wish them bad. It just means you're moving in different directions. And that's okay. There's a reason why eagles don't fly with pigeons. They operate at a different altitude. They move differently, they think differently, and they see things from a higher perspective. If you're trying to soar in life, you can't stay on the ground with people who are too scared to take off. You need to find people who push you to be better, people who don't let you settle, people who call you out when you're slipping, who remind you of who you are and what you're capable of. Success isn't just about hard work. It's about who you work around, who you listen to, and who you allow to speak into your life. The right circle will elevate you. The wrong circle will destroy you. Choose wisely. You know, talent is a beautiful thing. It's that spark, that natural ability, that raw potential that people recognize in you. It gets you noticed, it opens doors, and it gets you invited to the table. But here's the thing most people don't understand. Talent by itself isn't enough. It's like a car with a powerful engine but no fuel. It might look good, but it won't take you far. What will take you places is discipline. Discipline is the fuel that turns potential into performance. Let's be real. You know plenty of naturally talented people, right? They've got all the gifts, they've got all the skills, and they can do things that blow your mind. But then you look at their progress, and it's slow, it's limited. Why? Because talent without discipline is wasted potential. Talent might get you started, but discipline will get you to the finish line. It's the difference between someone who's got the potential to be great and someone who becomes great. Discipline is what makes you show up when nobody's watching. It's what makes you get up early, stay up late, and keep grinding even when the results aren't immediate. Talent might give you a head start, but discipline is what keeps you in the race. It's what gets you out of bed every morning and keeps you moving even when things are tough. It's the willingness to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's the daily commitment to your goals even when no one else believes you can make it. Talent can be a gift, but discipline is a choice. It's something you have to decide to put into practice every day. You can't just rely on what you've been given. If you want to reach the level of success you dream about, you need to develop the habits, the routines, and the mindset of someone willing to outwork everyone else. You have to be willing to grind day in and day out, even when you're tired, even when you're frustrated, even when the world feels like it's against you. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Look at the greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, and the top performers in every field. They weren't always the most naturally gifted. They weren't always the most talented. What they had was the discipline to put in the work when nobody else would. They showed up when everyone else took the day off. They trained when everyone else rested. They did the things that nobody else was willing to do, and that's why they stand at the top. The reality is, the road to success is paved with consistency. You might not see results after one day, 1 week, or even 1 month of hard work, but if you stick with it, if you keep showing up and doing the work day after day, you'll start to see those results. And then those results will lead to bigger opportunities, bigger dreams, and bigger rewards. Talent might give you a head start, but discipline will take you to the finish line over and over again. If you're relying on talent alone, you're limiting yourself. You're putting your success in the hands of something that's beyond your control, your natural gifts. But if you choose to develop discipline, you're taking full control of your future. You're creating a work ethic that will carry you through every challenge, every setback, every roadblock. You're setting yourself up for success, not just once, but over and over again, because discipline doesn't fade. Talent might come and go, but discipline stays with you, helping you push through no matter what. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to tear yourself down? How quickly you can start doubting yourself, telling yourself you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not capable enough. We all do it. We get stuck in our heads, we let our inner critic run wild. And before we know it, we've convinced ourselves that we can't do it, that we're not cut out for success. But what if I told you that the words you speak to yourself are the most powerful thing you've got? What if you start speaking life into yourself instead of death? The truth is you have the power to shape your reality with your words. You've heard the phrase, watch what you say, but what about watch what you think? You can't let negativity dominate your mind, because once that happens, it spills out into your life. The words you speak to yourself are like seeds that grow. If you're constantly telling yourself that you're not good enough, that you can't do it, guess what? You'll find ways to prove that true. But if you start speaking life into yourself, telling yourself that you're capable, that you're worthy, that you're stronger than any challenge, those words will start to take root and grow into your reality. Every single day you get a choice. You can either let the doubts, the fears, and the negativity take over, or you can choose to speak life into yourself. It might sound simple, but that's the thing. It's the small, consistent things that make the biggest difference. It's waking up every morning and telling yourself, I am enough. I am worthy of success. I am capable of achieving everything I dream of. It's looking in the mirror and speaking positivity, not just about your appearance, but about your potential. You've got to start affirming who you are, not who you fear you're not. There are days when you're going to feel defeated. There are days when it feels like nothing is going your way, when the setbacks are piling up and the road ahead looks impossible. But those are the days you need to speak life the most. When you feel at your lowest, that's when your words matter the most. Don't wait for someone else to lift you. You got to be the first one to speak victory over your life. You got to remind yourself that setbacks are just setups for comebacks. You got to tell yourself that this obstacle is just another opportunity for growth. Speak life, even when everything around you is telling you to give up. The world is full of noise. People will tell you all the reasons why you can't, why it's too hard, why it's not possible. But if you don't speak life into yourself, if you don't affirm your worth, you'll start believing that noise. You'll start internalizing all the doubts and let them define you. But here's the thing. Other people's doubts don't have power over you unless you let them. When you speak life into yourself, you're building a wall of positivity around your mind. You're creating a shield that protects you from negativity and fills you with the strength to keep going no matter what anyone else says. The mind is a battlefield, and your thoughts are your weapons. When you speak life into yourself, you're arming yourself with the mental strength to fight against the negativity, the setbacks, and the doubts. You're telling yourself, I am more than enough. I will not be defeated. I will not be broken. You're training your mind to see possibilities instead of limitations. And that shift in perspective is what will propel you forward. You are what you believe. And if you believe in your power and your strength and your ability to achieve your goals, nothing can stop you. The most powerful tool you have in this life is your voice. It's not just the words you speak to others. It's the words you speak to yourself. If you want to change your life, you've got to change the way you talk to yourself. Stop listening to that inner critic and start listening to your inner champion. Speak life, speak love, speak power into your soul, and watch how your life begins to shift. The moment you start speaking life into yourself, you'll start believing in the greatness that's already inside of you. I know that sometimes it feels like you're moving at a snail's pace. You look around and see other people shooting ahead, accomplishing things that seem so far out of reach for you. It feels like no matter how hard you work, how many hours you put in, you're not getting closer to where you want to be. But here's something you need to understand. Small progress is still progress. Even the tiniest step forward is better than staying stuck. If you're moving, I don't care how small the progress seems. Did you get out of bed and work toward your goals today? That's progress. Did you learn something new, no matter how minor it seems? That's progress. You tried, and even if it didn't go the way you planned, you showed up and gave it your best shot. That's progress. Progress doesn't have to be this grand, dramatic leap forward every time. Real growth happens in the little moments, the small actions that add up over time. The world will tell you that you need to make huge moves all at once. People want instant success, fast results, and quick fixes. But here's the reality. It's the small, consistent actions that add up to big results. You may not see it today, tomorrow, or even next week. But if you keep taking those little steps, you'll find yourself further along than you ever imagined. You may not be where you want to be yet, but if you keep going, the gap between where you are and where you want to be is getting smaller every single day. Don't let the size of your progress fool you. It's easy to get discouraged when the results aren't immediate or don't look like what you imagine, but you've got to trust the process. Rome wasn't built in a day. The most successful people didn't get there overnight. They put in work consistently, even when the progress seemed slow. They didn't quit after one setback or 2 or 10. They kept moving, kept pushing, kept showing up, knowing that small steps would eventually get them to the finish line. Sometimes you have to focus on the fact that you're moving at all. Even when the road ahead seems long, even when it feels like you're taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back, remember this. You're still moving. You didn't quit. You didn't stop. And that's the key to success. When you keep pushing forward, no matter how small the progress, you're building momentum. And momentum is what will eventually carry you to the big breakthroughs, the big wins, and the big rewards. I want you to think about a puzzle for a second. You start with 1,000,000 tiny pieces. It doesn't make sense at first. It's frustrating, and it feels like you're not getting anywhere. But as you keep putting in those small pieces, one by one, suddenly you start to see the bigger picture. That's how progress works. It might not make sense at the moment, but as you stay consistent and keep putting in the work, those small pieces start to form something incredible. Every tiny effort you make is like a brick being laid down toward building your future. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be massive. But if you keep stacking those bricks day after day, you'll build something that will last. So don't get discouraged by the smallness of your progress. Celebrate it, because small progress is better than no progress at all. And before you know it, those small steps will lead you to the biggest accomplishments of your life. No matter where you are, no matter what you're going through, no matter how high you rise or how low you fall, keep God first. There is a power greater than us. A force that has already paved the way, that's already holding everything in place when it feels like it's all falling apart. You can't do this life on your own, no matter how talented you are, no matter how strong you think you are. You need a foundation, a source of strength that never wavers, that never quits, that's bigger than any challenge you face, and that's where God comes in. When you put God first, everything else starts to align. You stop trying to force things. You stop chasing after things that aren't meant for you. You stop stressing over the things you can't control. God has a plan for you, and when you keep Him first, you're walking in alignment with that plan. The best part is it's a plan for your good. It's a plan that will lead you to the right opportunities, to the right people, and to the right mindset to succeed. But you can't get there by doing it on your own. You need God to guide every step. I know life gets tough. There are moments when you feel lost, when you feel like God is silent, when everything you've worked for seems to be slipping through your fingers. But I'm here to tell you, that's the time to trust Him the most. That's when God is working behind the scenes. When things get tough, don't run away from Him. Run to Him. When you keep God first, even the hardest seasons will start to make sense. He's shaping you. He's strengthening you. He's preparing you for what's ahead. It's easy to get distracted. Life moves fast. And the world tells you that you need to chase money, fame, status, and success. But all those things are temporary. When you keep God first, you're putting eternal things in the front. You're prioritizing peace, love, joy, and purpose. When you align your life with God's will, you're investing in things that can't be taken away. The world might give you a momentary high, but only God can give you true fulfillment. You don't need to chase success. Let success chase you when you keep God at the center. People will try to tell you how to live. They'll give you advice that sounds good at the moment, but when you follow God's direction, you're following a path that's meant just for you. He knows what you need better than anyone. When you keep God first, you stop following the crowd. You stop listening to the noise. You start listening to the still small voice that directs you toward what's best. And let me tell you, when you walk in God's purpose for your life, there's no limit to what you can achieve. There are times when the journey gets tough, when you don't see the fruits of your labor, when it feels like things just aren't working out. But I want you to remember something. God's timing is always right. He sees the bigger picture. He knows what you can't yet see. Trust him. Trust that everything is happening exactly as it should. Your job is to keep him first, keep pushing forward, and keep believing. God's timing is perfect. And when you trust him, the results will blow your mind. When you keep God first, you're not just asking for blessings, you're asking for guidance, for wisdom, for strength, for protection. You're submitting your dreams, your desires, and your plans into his hands, trusting that he will make them come to life in the way that's best for you. The journey might not always be easy, but with God leading you, it's always worth it. So no matter what happens, keep God first. Let him be the foundation of everything you do, and you will see his hand move in ways you never expected. You've been working for this, haven't you? You've been grinding, struggling, sacrificing, putting in the hours that nobody saw. You've been working while others were sleeping, while others were doubting, and now the fruits of that labor are starting to show. Your dreams are coming true. Your goals are within reach, and success is finally knocking at your door. But let me tell you something. When that moment comes, when you finally make it, when you get that win, don't go around gloating. Don't go around rubbing it in people's faces. Instead, just smile. It's easy to let pride take over when you reach the top. It's easy to want to tell everyone, I told you so. It's easy to look at those who doubted you and say, look at me now. But let me tell you, that kind of attitude will never bring you the peace and fulfillment you're after. Success isn't about showing off. It's about growth. It's about overcoming the challenges that try to break you. And when you get there, when you make it, the real reward is in the peace of knowing you did it with grace. Don't let your success become your identity. Yes, you've worked hard. Yes, you've earned it. But remember that the same way you got to the top, others can too. Just because you're winning now doesn't mean you should forget where you came from. When you make it, it's not about making others feel small or insignificant. It's about sharing your success in a way that elevates everyone around you. True success is about lifting others, not stepping on their necks to get to the top. You didn't make it alone, and there's no need to gloat about it. You've got to stay humble, even when you're on top. Pride is a dangerous thing because it blinds you to the people and things that matter. When you're winning, your actions speak louder than words. Your character is built in how you carry yourself when you're on top. A smile, a nod, a quiet confidence. Those things speak volumes. You don't need to tell people how great you are. They'll see it in the way you handle your success. Keep your humility, and you'll earn the respect and admiration of those who see you not as someone who's above them, but as someone who's walked the same road they are on. Gloating is for the insecure. People who feel the need to brag or boast about their success are usually trying to fill a hole that's never going to be filled. They're seeking validation, approval, and recognition. But when you truly know your worth, when you truly know what you've achieved, you don't need to seek validation. You don't need to tell everyone how far you've come. Your success will speak for itself. When you smile, when you stay humble, you show the world that you're secure in who you are and that your worth isn't dependent on anyone else's recognition. Don't forget that success is a journey, not a destination. The road you've traveled, the lessons you've learned, the people who have helped you along the way, these things matter. Gloating over your win makes it all about the destination and takes away from the beauty of the journey. True fulfillment comes from knowing that you've stayed true to yourself, that you've remained humble through it all, and that you've earned your place without belittling anyone else. When you make it, remember that the journey you took to get there is just as valuable as the success itself. So when you make it, whether it's a big win or a small victory, don't gloat, don't brag, don't boast. Just smile. Smile because you know you've put in the work, you fought through the challenges, and you've come out on top. Smile because you know that your success doesn't need to be flaunted to be meaningful. Smile because you did it with integrity, humility, and grace. That's the kind of success that lasts, and that's the kind of success that will continue to inspire others long after the moment has passed.